Hey there, everybody. It's Joy Foster, founder of Tech Pixies. And tonight we are going to do an alumni panel. And I thought this would be a great opportunity for people who are thinking about joining Social Media Magic to get to know some of our alumni and ask questions if they have them. So it's also really fun to just get the alumni to get to know each other a little bit too. So I'm streaming this into both of our groups and onto our Facebook page, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not. I can't remember. Anyway, our first up, hold on. I think I can fix that because I don't think I am. Here we go. There we go. Save changes. Here we go. All right. Now we're streaming into everybody's group. Okay. So first up, we've got Carol. And I think I've got to turn on the little cool banners because it looks like they're missing. Carol, thank you for joining tonight. It's really sweet of you to join at last minute. But tell everybody about you, why you joined the program, and how your life has changed since.
My life's changed quite dramatically since, actually. I joined the program mainly because my job disappeared at lockdown. But for several years, I'd been developing behind the scenes my own little business. So I knew that I had to then take that to the next level. And social media was a big part of that. But it's not just social media. It's just been everything. The support in this group is brilliant, and just gives you so much confidence to try things and go for it. And I've come on leaps and bounds, I think, since 12 weeks ago. Seems like much more than that, but it was only 12 weeks ago that I joined the program. So,
what were you the most scared of when you joined, or what would you say might have been a limiting belief that you had before you joined?
That my limiting belief, I think, was that I didn't feel that I was good enough at what I knew a lot of, which I now know I am good enough. And in fact, I'm quite an expert, actually, and it's taken me a long time to actually realize that. But now I can pass that on to everybody else, and it's been fantastic. So yeah, you have to believe in yourself. That's one of the biggest things, I think, that's been a challenge. But I really feel I'm there now. I feel like I'm flying with that belief now. So it's great.
And tell people what has happened just in the last. It's gone crazy for you. So just tell people what's happened.
Okay, so I'm in the knitting and crochet world, and I was writing and selling patterns. I was doing a bit of pattern checking, but now things have gone a bit mad. I've got my own website now selling kits, but I'm demoing those kits quite regularly now on a UK TV channel. In fact, I'm on Saturday again. And it's just gone mad. It's brilliant because I'm getting such exposure in my world, and people can really relate to me. I love it, absolutely love it. I love helping people with their knitting or crochet issues. So that's a great forum for me, and I've got such confidence mainly from this program, and I'm out there on social media, and I love it.
Oh, a mad knitter.
Oh, someone's a mad knitter. Oh, Annette, we have to connect if you join up. That's fantastic.
Definitely connect. So connect with Carol at Cool Wool Design. So Carol, tell me, when I challenged you to do your first live in the Social Media Supercharge program, how did that make you feel?
I tell you what, I look back at, I can actually remember doing that and thinking at the time that, oh, what a nightmare. It just seemed so hard. But now I think nothing of recording myself doing tutorials or talking to camera or anything. It's just, it's a lot easier than you think. But you just need that help from other people to push you along and give you support. And,
well, I remember when you got invited to do the presenting, and you were so excited, and then also terrified. But then I think the thing is, you know, like you said, once you've done it, you break out of that comfort zone, and it becomes more. Are you more comfortable now on camera?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, no problem. I don't even think about it. And like I say, it's only been 12 weeks since I started this program, so you know, it's leaps and bounds. It really is. And I gave up a job that I didn't give it up. It gave me up because of lockdown, but I really did not like that job. And now I'm doing what I love. So there you go.
And when you were trying to make the decision about whether or not you should join Social Media Magic, what kind of questions were going through your mind? What kind of thoughts were you having?
I knew straight away that I wanted to join, but I had to persuade my other half that it was a good thing. But we talked it through, and we both agreed in the end that it was. But I just knew. I could tell. You can tell when you've got a tribe of people that are the same as you and supportive, and and everything else. And it was fantastic. And I can't believe how much I've learned in this short space of time. Brilliant.
So when you had to convince your other half, what
Yes.
what did you say? How did you convince him?
I convinced him I was going to make money, and I was going to become an expert in my world, and we were going to live happily ever after. Sorry, I've had a couple of gins, folks.
Hey, go for it. So, and do you feel like that's happened for you?
Oh man, well, not happened yet. There's still a long way to go. There's so much I want to do. My problem at the moment is trying to focus on what should be the main things that I aim for. But there's so much that I want to do in my business. But the thing is, it's so exciting rather than sitting at a desk in an IT job that I really didn't enjoy. So it's fantastic. I'm working much harder now than I ever did before, but it's for me and I love it.
Your job satisfaction ratings have gone through the roof.
Oh man, yes, absolutely, definitely.
Well, and the thing is once your job satisfaction has gone up, you end up actually attracting the customers, making the sales, getting the jobs.
Well, that's what's happening, and I'm helping out on blogs, and I'm helping out on Facebook groups where people want a bit of advice. And I've got a new tech editor customer this week because she was disappointed with the person she had, and she said she's changed all my pattern, and I said no, she shouldn't really do that. She should just help you have your voice, just make sure it works. And so all of a sudden I've got another avid customer who wants me to tech edit for them. So
that's amazing. Well, Carol,
I found my voice.
I'm so glad you found your voice. And we even did an interview with you. This is before everything even happened, which I love, with you getting kind of, spotted for this show. But what I want to do is just remind people where they can listen to the full episode. It's episode 67. So if you want to go hear Carol's full story, go check her out at episode 67. Thank you, Carol, so much.
You're welcome. Nice
Anything
to meet
you'd like to add?
Just join this group. It's life-changing.
Oh, look, Annette says that she's even looked at your website and signed up for your newsletter.
Yay!
She wants to know if you're on
Facebook. Cool World Design and everything.
All right. We'll see you later. Thanks so much. Okay, that was great. Thank you, Carol. I'm going to bring Karen on, and Karen is with Shop for Ducks, and Karen fills up our awesome fab boxes with the ducks. Yeah, there we go. These are our Tech Pixie ducks, of course. They've got to have the queen duck with our star wand. So, Karen, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Finally, feel like I'm finding my feet again. It's been a journey.
Tell us about that journey.
Okay, so it started in October of last year, month after I'd been had my job terminated due to COVID suddenly, and I was stuck wondering what I'd be doing next. We already had our duck business, Shop for Ducks. It's been going quite a few years now, online and in a shop. The shop's closed because of COVID. And whilst we were using social media, we had no strategy. We had no plans for the future. Every post we made was just ad hoc, as and when. And we weren't really using social media to boost our sales. So I joined so that I could upskill, that I could learn more about social media, so that I could use it to the best ability for our business.
How is that working for you so far? What changes have you made?
Okay, so I went through the first 6 weeks of the course, decided that I wanted to focus on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. In fact, I wanted to do them all, but I had to focus. And I loved everything that I heard. I started implementing before I'd even finished those 6 weeks. I couldn't wait. Probably by about week 4, I thought, oh, I'm not listening to the content anymore. I'm actually going to implement, because I needed to move forwards, and started posting every day from the 1st of November. Took a few days off over Christmas. And from the dashboard of the statistics I've gathered, the visitors to our website and the sales dramatically increased in November. And then just recently I've put my big pants on, my big brave pants, should I say, and decided that it was about time we sent our customers an email newsletter. We've had customers for over 5 years who have subscribed to a newsletter but never actually had one. So it was about time. So on the 1st of February, I sent an email out to over 3,000 customers who had subscribed to our newsletter. I did it in 2 little chunks just in case I blew the server up. It was fantastic watching the stats as people were opening it and clicking on the link. And from the first look at the stats that I've made, I had a click-through rate. I had an open rate of about 30% and a click-through rate of about 7%. And from the 3,000 emails, I've generated at least 10 orders totaling about £200.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wait, hold on. Karen, now what I love about this is you were the gal who was just petrified of sending that email, and you did it. You finally did it. And look at the results that you got from sending that email.
I know. I was scared, and it was fear of rejection. It was fear of success. And Joy talks about this in the course. I wasn't worried about failing because we're already a business, we're already running, but I was afraid of the next step of getting more customers. And what would they say? I had about 30 people unsubscribe, which isn't bad from 3,000. I had about 8 people report me as spam. I had OmniSend contact me to make sure that my sending process for 3,000 emails was as good as it could be. And now, with the help of my accountability buddies, Paula and Helen, my next newsletter will be going out on Valentine's Day to launch the next campaign of ducks that we're promoting, superheroes.
Oh, I love that. And there's just so much you can do. You've got so many different kinds of ducks, and there's competitions you can do and getting these emails going. And the first step is just doing it, showing up every week and showing up for your customers. And people always say, like, why does Emma Bridgewater email me every day? Well, they email you every day because they've got millions of people on their mailing list, and they know that every email equals a sale. And as long as your emails are fun and entertaining, it works itself out. And you have great content for fun and entertaining. You've been a wonderful addition to our community. And I know you were really nervous about joining because of your situation. Do you look back on it now and think it was the right decision?
Absolutely. I can remember looking at the price thinking, I can't afford that. I realised the value I would get for it. But at that point, it was a lot of money, and I'd just been made redundant. I spoke to my husband. We had a good, frank chat, and he decided that I could fund myself from the business account, because I was going to be working on the business success. And the fact that he was so behind me just pushed me forward. And there I did, paid in full the first day. No questions about whether or not it was worth it. The coaching sessions, the amount of content, I haven't gone through half of the content. There's so much more for me to do, but I just pick the bits I want, the bits I need. And just the fellow tech pixies are wonderful. The community is wonderful. People pick you up when you're down. They laugh with you. They cry with you. And Joy, you're just so awe-inspiring of what you've achieved. And it just makes us want to make ourselves better.
Oh, well, don't make me cry. Although I do have my handkerchief from the Fab Box, which, by the way, if you sign up by midnight, you still get the Fab Box, and we can always review what's in that. But Karen, thank you for providing ducks for our Fab Box. You are such a delight to have in the program, and I am so proud of you for what you have accomplished. And I just, so often I can remember when people were going through the program. I can remember when people were making the decision. I can remember the first live, and yours is one of those that is very memorable. And knowing that, if you just took the chance that it, and if you just did the work, that it would probably work out just fine. And it has. And what a blessing that is. And we're so, so grateful you're in the community. And thank you for sharing your story tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, I'm going to
sign up now. It will change your life.
I'll add the link in case you want the link. Thanks, Karen, so much. All right. Well, that was Karen. What an exceptional lady. And I'm going to bring on Mel Cant next. So Mel, hello. How are you tonight?
I'm brilliant. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. So, do you have a star sweater on? I love it.
I do. I've got to go the right way. Look.
I love it. Well, that's a very tech pixie thing. You start seeing stars everywhere, don't you?
Absolutely. I can't go anywhere without seeing stars and go, oh, I know someone really like that.
Oh, look, I love this. Well, Eileen just said she's going to go follow Karen and she's going to buy her granddaughter a duck. I love it.
That's amazing.
Well, I love these stories too, Jenna. And I thought it was important that we share these because, it's really important that people see what's possible. So Mel, tell us what is possible. And I saw a big post, a big win in the alumni group from you. So tell me what's possible for you.
Well, to paint the picture, you see, I'm not creative. I'm a lawyer. Okay. So I work in the big bad corporate world. And I've always been very fearful of things, social media, tech, etc. I'm used to standing on my feet. I'm used to having a notebook and a piece of paper. Do you know what I mean? To write on. So it was a big leap of faith for me to come and do this. And yesterday I completed it. Yesterday was the biggest day ever. Honestly, I just wanted to cry. I actually completed all of the modules. I did all of the quizzes. I finished it. And if you'd have asked me when I joined as part of the infamous cohort 21, whether I would have been able to do this, I would have said, no, I'll do bits and I'll do bits and pieces. But it's not just about completing it. It's learning about the social media is so important, and not being frightened of the social media, which is what I was frightened of. And I needed it for my business. I wanted to I did lots of training, and all the face-to-face training disappeared. I lost probably 70% of my business, of my income, because it was a real big income drawer overnight, because everything was shut down. And all of a sudden you've got to move it online. So you can't go, well, I don't know, I don't understand. You've got to learn. And honestly, I'm so grateful that I literally stumbled over Tech Pixies. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made. It's one of the most amazing communities that I've ever been in. It's so supportive. And, you learn that everything's figure outable. everything is figure outable. And if it isn't, there's a tech pixie who you can go, help, I don't know the answer to this. And they go, it's okay, Mel, you just do this. But we all help each other, and it's in different ways. And it's a magical place. It is a magical place, and it will change. It's changed my life. I've never read so much about self-help. I've never ever focused on myself in terms of mindset and things like that, because I've never had to before. I never thought about it before. I live in a big bad corporate world, and you just do it. And now you take this step back, and the stories of the women in there are so inspirational, so inspirational. It's an amazing place.
Well, tell us about your journey once you figured out how to use social media, what you started exploring.
So, yes, so this has been phenomenal. So I've now taken my courses online. So my courses were always face-to-face, and they didn't lend themselves to webinars and bits and pieces, because they're very interactive, very much like Joy's, this course. It's very interactive, and you're playing parts all the time, in that you can put questions in and bits and pieces. And my training was very much like that. And I wanted to explore being able to put it online. So I did. I have put it online with the help and all the support of everybody else. And I've sold my course online. And I've had paying customers go through my course online. And, and I've created my little mini courses and my little lead magnets, and they're all running along. And I'm now on I've built the second course, and that's online. And I'm now building the third course for it to go online, because they're all different. But yeah, and, you take the various steps. I've done some launching, in that I've contacted the list of people that I've worked with before. I'm finally pulling the big brave pants on to do the proper launching to people that don't know me at all. But, and all that is finding your feet through social media, going on to things like Twitter and LinkedIn and places that I've never really been before, and sort of turning up and commenting on things and being brave, but knowing that you're looking professional all the time, because you're giving all of that inspiration at the back. And it does come through, because people say, oh, your site's very professional, and what you do is and I have to be, because that's the nature of my job. So I love it. I love it. You've completely changed my world.
Gemma wants to know, well, you changed your world. I just help facilitate. Gemma wants to know what kind of courses you do. What kind of courses do you
well, yes, unfortunately, it's in the big bad legal world. So it's all, I have spent the last my entire career working with in social housing. So I tend to work with homeless people and social housing. And this training is all about teaching people who want to enter that world, not the world of homelessness, clearly, the world of looking after the homeless, and, dealing with housing management and social housing. So it's legal training for housing officers and people who want to be housing officers.
Did you ever think that social media would work with that kind of genre?
No. And do you know what interests me the most is that everybody who I talk to say, oh, yes, your customer base will be on LinkedIn. Of course, they'll be no, housing officers, we're housing officers. So, they're all on Facebook, they're all on Instagram, they're all in places. And I get far more traction from those places than I do from LinkedIn. I obviously, the people who are probably going to book the courses are based in there, but the people who want the advice, who want to sort of link up and ask questions, etc., they just love. I have a Facebook page, a business page, and the amount of people come on, they ask questions. I post videos on there of little hints and tips and bits and pieces. And I'm hoping to start my podcast. It's nearly ready. That's my next big launch. The Housing Advisor is about to be born.
You are unstoppable. I love it. And the cool thing is I spent a lot of time with you because you bought some of the bonuses that we promote. So for example, on Friday, I'm interviewing Jill Stanton all about their Course Creators Boot Camp, which you did and loved. So so it's just so much fun to see you thriving, and so much fun to see you figuring it out, because you are figuring it out as you go along. what would you say was a limiting belief you had when you came in, and how has that changed?
Oh, yeah. Do you want the list? The fear of the the whole fear of technology, and the whole fear of that was one big thing. But one of the biggest issues I had was money mindset. And money mindset is a massive issue. It's a huge issue, and you don't think it is, but it really, really is. And the work that you guys do around mindset is so crucial, because you've got to learn to understand what money is and what it isn't. And then once you start understanding that, then you can actually start moving forward and promoting yourself. And I don't want to put people in a box, but as women, money is an issue to many women, if you see what I mean. It's not, we don't think about it in the right way, if you see what I mean. We don't think of it as the tool that we need in order to progress in what we're doing. And this space, massively, that was one of my biggest limiting beliefs, was around that. And yeah, it's helped massively. I still not 100% there. I don't think anybody ever is. But I'm probably 90% there.
I think actually, to be honest, it's, there's that old adage, mo money, mo problems. I think, and actually, and that's also a belief. If you believe if you believe you're going to have more problems and you have more money, well, then you avoid more money. But I think actually, you do hit levels, right? You got to, first of all, feel worthy and deserving of earning money. And then second of all, you've got to, then you've got to learn how to not spend it all. I think that was one of the tricky things, even for me, as I was building our business, is I kept wanting to make it better and better and better, and invest in more, more professionalism and making it better and better. And it's actually pretty darn good. And, it's also thinking about how do we not, how do we also build up a cash reserve? How do we build up a longer term future for the company and not live hand to mouth? So I think there's different levels of money mindset. The first level, though, is probably realizing, like you said, what it is and what it isn't. And actually, it's just a tool. That is all it is. It's a tool that helps you to do the things that you want to do, but it means nothing. And it shouldn't mean anything, because if you allow the amount of money in your bank account to change who you are, then you don't know who you are, right? You haven't got a solid grounding in who you are, because whether you have money or not, you are still you. And if that changes based on your bank account, well, then we've got, some work to do. And I think that's one of the things that we're definitely doing. Someone just said that we call you Mel Can in Tech Pixies, which we do. We call you Mel Can. And you are the woman who can. Well, Mel, thank you so much for your time and popping in on here. Any final advice you have for someone sitting on the fence, trying to decide?
Back to the money mindset. Basically, just don't think about it. Just do it. If you think it's right for you, then you should do it. It is an amazing community. They are once a tech pixie, forever a tech pixie. An amazing bunch of women, an amazing bunch of trainers. You will learn so much. Just please, just do it. As I say, it is life-changing, utterly life-changing. It's made the whole lockdown COVID thing far more than bearable. It's made it a joy part of the way through it, on the basis that I've had something inspiring to do every day. So it's really good.
Oh, well, thank you, Mel. Well, we'll let you get
thank you.
your evening and your star jumper, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, you take care.
You too. Oh, wasn't that inspiring? All right, I'm bringing on Stephanie now. Hello, hello. Great to see you. So delighted that you're here. So tell us all about your story, your journey. You've had a really exciting journey, but you've also been trying to figure it out. It's taken you a while to figure out what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. Tell us all that. Tell us all about it. Oh, I've just muted you. That was my fault. Sorry, I was trying to mute myself. Oh, we still can't hear you. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's just try and check your mic settings. Do you know what I might do, Steph? I might just pop off and see if Padma's there, or see if you can get your sound on. Sorry, everybody. We'll see if we can get Mrs. Daxie to join with the sound. Down at the bottom, there is a cam mic little setting, and you can click on that and maybe try a different audio settings. Just check which you've got your audio on. And I know Padma's there. I don't know if she's actually there because I can't see her. So don't worry. We can tell your story when you get it sorted. I still can't hear you. I'm sorry. While Stephanie's trying to sort that out, I just want to read a couple of the comments. Claire said, thank you, Mel. Someone said, this is so inspirational. Thank you. Can anyone tell me where I can get my certificate? I think Lachelle's going to take care of you on that.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yay! I have a new mic and it was on mute.
Oh, well, now it's working. Brilliant.
Yeah,
Thanks
now
for
it's
your
working.
patience.
So,
So tell us about your journey, because it's been one of those a squiggly journey as you've tried to work out what you want to do, how you want to do it, and tell us what you're doing now.
okay, so when I came in, I really didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. I came in because when I sold my business, which was about 10 years ago now, I had a health company that I'd had for years, had a nice, successful 10 years out of it, sold it. But I didn't understand social media. It was print and mail order, and I had a website, and that was it. And I was really, really frightened of social media because I couldn't do it. My PR couldn't do it. Everyone that I was working with couldn't do it. And I came in having just taken a job as COO of a medtech company, and they couldn't do it either. And I remember seeing you at Unlimited, and you were talking about tech pixies, and I said, that's the woman I need to talk to because she knows how to do it. So, and then just by coincidence, I decided this job's not for me. I decided to end it. And I thought, I need to find that woman. And just it so happens, it popped up on Facebook, and I saw the ad, and I did the free trial. And then I thought, this is what I'm going to do. And I did the 3 weeks, and it was just like, this is a no-brainer for me. I'm doing this. This is what I need. I need to find myself, and I need to get these skills. And I didn't know what I wanted to use them for. I had come out of a place of being at home and not doing anything because the kids were at uni, and I was bored and I was fed up, and I wasn't really myself at all. So I started on the course, and it has taken me a long time to figure out what I want to do. And I've still got loads of stuff to learn. But the mindset work got me on track.
Really let's talk about some of the things, because I think people think, do I need to know what I'm going to do when I join? And they don't need to know what they're going to do when they join, because half the course is actually understanding how the networks work and then trying to figure out what you want to do with it. So tell us about the different things you've tried and different things you've done and the results that you've gotten.
I think the most valuable thing for me was, first of all, doing the Wheel of Life, because it was really unbalanced and I hadn't really addressed it. I hadn't really looked at it. I hadn't really thought about it. I always know what my values are, but the way I was living wasn't in line with my values at all. And I think the rebalance and recognizing it and having the knowledge to make changes and learn, suddenly you get into this whole, ocean of knowledge and books and recommendations, and it just comes at you, and you just swim, and you just start swimming in it. And the more you swim, the more you can go. You go further and further into it. And I just found I loved it. I just loved the mental knowledge of being able to make change and recognizing in myself that I wasn't actually myself anymore. And then when you go through that process, you can find yourself. And once I'd found myself, I thought, well, now I'm back to me. I can find my voice again. And I did. And along that journey, I suddenly felt strong. I suddenly felt strong just before Christmas. I've been doing a lot of mindset work, and I felt really strong. And then all of a sudden, I just knew what I wanted to do. And that's the cryptocurrency. And that's
I love this. I mean, first of all, so she wrote you wrote a book. That was one of the things she did. So she started the course, and then she's like, I'm gonna write a book. So she went off and wrote a book. Then you came back to the course.
Yeah. And the reason for that is the person that I am now is not the person that I was in the book. So I now have to go back into the book to be the person that I am now. So I knew once I started writing the book that I knew that once I'd got to a certain point that I would have to revisit. So I stopped writing the book, got back into the work, And now it's really interesting because now reading the book, it's like, whoa, you were really, you were tired up there. You needed more input. And now I'm not saying I'm ready to go back into the book yet, but I'm close. I'm really close because I'm still taking on knowledge that I'm enjoying taking on. And I think that's a process. I've now got strategies, and I've now got good strategies that are working for me. I'm breaking old habits and bringing in the new, and I'm now using a system that works for me every day. But it really does start when I wake up and I'm warm and cozy. And if I don't make my bed, nothing happens.
Yeah, my mom always said, first thing you got to do in the day is make your bed, pull up your shades. The rest of it will take care of itself.
Absolutely. The bedroom was like a pit. It was like a student room. So it's all cleared up now. It's all everything's organized.
That's actually really true, because we obviously do all of our stuff virtually. And what we've noticed is when women first start the program, if you will look behind them, they'll have, books and stuff like piled up everywhere. And actually, interesting, what happens over time is as they start getting their life organized, suddenly the room around them gets organized as well. It's incredible to watch someone who starts and then 6 months later. So tell me, you said that in December you started feeling really, really strong. How long was that from the start of the program?
So I started in March, and I'd been through the modules once, and I had needed to go back and look at stuff, but I really needed to look at me, and I really needed to not fix, but I had problems going on at home with just situations, and I really wasn't in control of everything. And you can never be in control of everything, but I didn't feel that I had the skills to make the changes that I wanted to make. So I had to go in and dig a bit deeper. And now I'm finding what I'm looking for. I'd already the crypto was all it was just done. It's just something. It's got its own life force. It just happens. I wake up, I've made money. It's great. I don't have to think about it. I have to find myself and fix myself, and then I go forward. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I've been doing since the beginning of the course. And it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I love this. Emma Knight says, great journey, Mrs. Daxey. I just love how Tech Pixies Magic releases our true selves in ways we never could imagine before. And the thing is when you told me you're doing cryptocurrency, I was like, wow, that's just, whoa, mind blown. And this is the thing. Here tonight alone, we've spoken to someone who's, into knitting and crochet, and we've spoken to someone who sells rubber ducks online. We're talking to someone who does cryptocurrency. I'm about to talk to someone who does career advising. The cool thing about social media is it doesn't matter what niche you're in, you need it these days. And it makes a huge, huge difference in your ability to, command sales and etc. It was really interesting. I was on a neuro coaching call tonight because I'm in the final stages of my neuro coaching certification. So I've got it already, and now we're doing the business side. And they were talking about Tony Robbins, which I'm I've read a couple of his books. The jury's out still on what I think about Tony Robbins, but you can't fault him. For being a good person and the things that he's done for hungry children. And if you know his story, he was basically a starving young boy, and someone helped him, and fed his family. And he said, I'm going to feed millions of families one day. And that's what he's done. But apparently to get a 2-hour meeting with him, it's a 5-year wait list, and it costs $1 million.
Wow.
And we were talking in the group about why he can command $1 million for 2 hours. And really, it comes down to the fact that he has built up a huge following, and he's inspired a lot of people. But, your pricing goes up when your time runs out. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't realize. And your time runs out when your list grows. The more people you've got on your list, the more people who are following you, then you have to get clever about how you reach people in a different way. I mean, I used to do one-on-one training. I definitely don't do that anymore. And we even used to do small group training with, just 6 women, and I don't do that anymore. And, it changes as you evolve. But I absolutely have loved watching your story just unfold literally in front of us. Now, talk about some of the side effects of being a tech pixie. you said in your video when we filmed you for the testimonial, you said that you lost weight. Is that a true story? Tell us about that.
Yeah, when I started, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I had to do a board. I had to do my goals. I had to link it to something. So I thought, you know what, I could do with losing weight. All I've done is eat and drink since we've been in lockdown. So I decided to just drop a stone, and I did my goals and everything around that. And lo and behold, it came off in like 4 weeks. I took a stone off, and once I had the plan and stuck to the plan, the weight came off. And I'm doing it again, but I'm doing it with a group of Olympians on a group called The Family. And I'm now back in training because the gyms are still closed. And Joy knows, but for all those that don't, I love my gym and I do strength training. I do very, very heavy lifting. And of course, I can't do that at the moment. So I'm walking and walking and walking. And I'm doing lots of HIIT sessions online. And that's inspiring, working with Olympians, because these are these great, amazing bodies, and they're all on The Family, and they're doing HIIT sessions every day, which is wonderful. So I'm thoroughly enjoying that. But I wouldn't have dreamed of doing that a year ago, because I liked my routine. I had boxed myself to my 3 sessions a week at the gym, and that was it. And now my doing and thinking is unlimited. I found myself in an unlimited place. I don't have any ideas about putting myself in a box. I know I'm enough, and I can just get on with it. And
I love that.
it is empowering. It's very empowering. I'm so pleased I did it. I really am.
Well, there's a question that's come in that says, not that one, that says, would this be beneficial for my tea room? What are your thoughts on things that people could do with social media and the course that people could, how that might affect them and benefit them in the case of a tea room, for example?
Well, I think tea rooms are really interesting opportunities now, because everybody that has a business has got an opportunity to have something going on in the business. And like if you go shopping, you want more out of your high street now, don't you? If you go into a House of Fraser, you don't want to just look at stuff. You want to be entertained. You want somebody to spray you and somebody to pamper you and somebody to rub your hands or maybe do something to your eyebrows. Or you want to be entertained. And if you've got a tea room, you're welcoming people in, so you can do anything. You can have magic tricks. You can have demonstrations. You can do anything. If you've got the space, you can entertain. You can hold a radio show there. You can do anything. And you need social media to tell people.
I love that. Live podcast. That would be cool. Huh? I know live podcasts were a thing before lockdown happened. Holly Tucker was doing live podcasts all over the country. Stephanie, so much. I want to thank you so much for being here. Everyone's inspired by you. Jennifer says, what a place to be. Unlimited mindset. Jenny says, very inspiring. Emma says, living outside the box. Love it. So listen, you've been a real blessing to our program, and I'm so glad that you've found your way and that you're doing that, and you're trying to inspire others to understand cryptocurrency, because again, I think cryptocurrency is something that a lot of women they just don't even bother learning about because they're scared of it. And so I love the fact that you're tackling that and you want to help other people not be afraid of it.
Thank you, Joy.
What would you say to someone who's on the fence?
Don't sit on the fence. Make a decision. Just do it. Just do it.
I love it. Well, thank you. Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you.
Thanks, Joy.
Bye. All right. This next guest that I'm going to bring on is Padma, and she is brilliant. I met Padma at SmartWorks. I was like, where did I meet you? SmartWorks. So Padma, tell us about SmartWorks and what you were doing at SmartWorks, and then tell us about what you do now.
I will. Hello. Excuse the appearance. I'm still kind of homeschooling. So yes, I met Joy a while ago now at a amazing women's charity called SmartWorks that I volunteer for. And you'd come in to meet the wonderful Sarah Burns, who'd recently been awarded an MBE. And in the interim, we ended up chatting, doing a bit of an interview, podcast, whatever at the time, all about values. So that's how I met the wonderful Joy. I would say Tech Pixie's values are really aligned to that of SmartWorks. That it's about empowering women essentially, and that they're close. They're my values. So that's how we met a long time ago. And then lockdown happened. I had a recruitment business which went down the pan, to be quite frank, because a lot of my clients were events based. So it all just stopped overnight. And then I saw this advert online for your wonderful free training, which I immediately joined up because I'd seen it was with Joy and I'd met her, had a little bit of a connection, and which is, if I'm honest, I was quite in my head, I'd had these beliefs about online training and online coaching and group coaching. I had quite a lot of beliefs of how I didn't think that would benefit me, to be honest, because I just couldn't see how you get the engagement. But I joined because I'd met Joy. If I hadn't, if I'm being really honest, I don't know if I would have done. But the truth is I did, because it was her and I knew what she stood for. Joined the course with the view to upskilling my social media skills to help me market the recruitment business better. And that was genuinely the intention. That is not where I've ended up at all. And actually, it's been incredible. By going through that process, I joined up to digitally upskill, but really, I mean, so many benefits. I have digitally upskilled, but actually what it showed to me was the power of group coaching, which I'd just never been online group coaching before, and it's incredible. And it's shown me obviously about social media, which I'm constantly still learning. I was just on the Instagram module again earlier on tonight, just reminding myself of something. But it's really helped me work on my fear of a lot of things. It's the mindset coaching. I know I'm sure I've just caught the end of Steph, but I'm sure a lot of people have covered this. It's that mindset coaching, and mine was how much fear had been holding me back all my life, really. And when I've done a lot of work through the program, it's kept me playing small. On so many occasions, it keeps me playing small, and I've never taken the time to recognize that. And actually, by doing that work, it's allowed me to dream bigger and see more. And now, because of that, I'm doing what I'm doing. And I've got a long way to go, but I do actually now recognize and take the time to celebrate my wins and celebrate how far I've come. And it's because I haven't dealt with the fear. The fear is there, you know, it's how I choose to show up and handle it. And so that's down to Tech Pixies training. But essentially, since I've started at Tech Pixies, I've set up an online career coaching program, which I deliver in groups, which I absolutely love. And it's, if I'm honest, it's what I've always loved doing. And I focus on women who've had gaps, who've lost their self-worth, or just need reminding of how brilliant they are and need that additional coaching. But if I hadn't joined Tech Pixies, I wouldn't have realised how to reach people in a pandemic, and also the power of group coaching, like I've said. So it's completely changed my life. Like I was just finishing one of my coaching calls then with a group of people, and I just, for the better, it's changed my life in terms of a brand new business, additional revenue streams, and I dream bigger, so I see more opportunities. So when this lockdown after Christmas happened, don't get me wrong, homeschooling is challenging. However, I see it, so I can't believe how different I feel compared to March last year. So
I want to point out a couple things. One, you're a single mom, and so I think for anyone who's listening to this and thinking, how can I do homeschooling, run my own business, and do a course and be a single mom? I know there are some single moms out there, so I want you to hear that. Tanya wants to know, how do you stop feeling overwhelmed by the amount to learn?
Because there are days, obviously, I get more overwhelmed than others, but I think my morning ritual is key, which I've learned a lot through Tech Pixies and I'm religious with that now. I'm still doing a lot of the brain priming work, and I'm rewriting some new scripts that I think I need for this year. I think it's in the strategy module, isn't it? But really, I journal, religiously. I have a gratitude. I've got loads of things on the shelf, but it's journaling. It's listening to a really good business podcast. I have certain go-to books that I've discovered through the book club that you run that are my go-to for inspirational when I'm feeling those moments. Like Fear Is Not the Boss of You, which is a book I know you did through book club. That there's things in that really help me when I'm feeling that fear or just feeling overwhelmed. And I think it's just breaking it into bite-sized chunks. So I really try and focus on and took the advice learned in the group, which is I try and do 3 things a week that will move me forward to my bigger goal, because otherwise I can't compute it all. There's too much going on. So it's just 3 things a week, which might be less than other people do, I don't know, but it's enough for me, and it makes me feel a sense of achievement. And also what I've been doing as well, which I did when I started, which I did last year, is the end of each week I write down the thing I've achieved that week that's got me closest to my goal or closer to my goal, and I write it down, I put it in a jar, and then New Year's Eve I open up and I read them. And the girls do the same, my daughters do the same for their goals. So that's really helped with the overwhelm. It's just breaking it down.
Yeah, I think we were just talking the other day about, how do you eat a big chocolate snowman or a big chocolate Santa? You one bite at a time. You can't just eat the whole thing. But the big 3 is huge. Having 3 big things to focus on every quarter, 3 big things every month, 3 big things every week, and 3 big things every day. Just if you do nothing else, you do those 3 things. And it's like, once you've only got to do 3 things, it takes the pressure off.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your time. And if someone was on the fence, what would you say to them?
You need to get off the fence and join. Honestly, join. I was in 2 minds because I thought, honestly, being on my own with the girls, I thought, I don't know how I'm going to fit it all in. But actually, it was the best thing I ever did, because you're surrounded by like-minded people who are really positive and inspirational, but also it's such a safe space where you feel where you can be vulnerable. And I know I had huge moments, especially at the beginning, when I found it all so much. And actually being with this community, which is the thing I've not even said actually, which is probably the biggest thing in itself, is the community and how amazing it is. You sign up to digitally upskill, but actually what you get those skills, but it's not about that. It's about community. It's about feeling empowered. It's about feeling safe, and all those things that Tech Pixies helps you work through is incredible. And you make amazing friends, and I would call them friends, and I've never met them, but we talk loads. And so that wouldn't have happened without Tech Pixies. So if you're sat there thinking about it, take the leap. It will genuinely, it's changed my life and loads of other people's for the better. And I 100% know it would change your life for the better.
Oh, thank you. Well, we had a little bit of an echo there. I just wanted to check. Do you want to let people know where they can find out about your career workshop? Do you have one coming up?
I have my next one. I'm in the middle of one at the moment, but my next one is April. So if anyone, it's for people who thinking about a career change, you're wanting additional coaching in a group format, then it's to help give you the mental and practical tools to help you career change successfully.
Brilliant. And they can find you at Career Success by Design. Is that right?
Yes, Career Success by Design.
Thank you so much. And I really appreciate you and your time. And it's just wonderful to see you, even if it's just virtually.
No, thank you.
All right, I'm going to bring on Paula next, and Paula's great. She is a woman who has made a lot of really big changes recently. She's got her logo sorted, and she's launched out on her own, and she's responsible for all of the bits in our Fab Box. So this is a great opportunity to talk about the Fab Box. So Paula, welcome. Great to see you.
Hi there. Hi, everybody.
So
Thanks for having me on.
You've sorted out our handkerchiefs. You've sorted out our face masks. You've sorted out our headbands. You've been very busy at helping us out at Tech Pixies. So tell people what you do and why you found the course.
Great. Yeah. So I have spent over 25 years in the design industry, specifically looking after corporate wear design. So basically running design teams and working for very big blue chip companies like airlines, banks, all the high street sort of names that you would know. And I've led teams, and I've also led designers and taught them how to, as in name designers, helping them to create uniforms as well. Basically, you know, you can get a great designer, but they haven't a clue about the practicalities of uniform design. So it would be my job to make that reality. It was also a very competitive industry to be in, because most of the work is tendered. So the pressure is really immense in that industry. So after 25 years in the industry, I decided in January 2020 to break away on my own and work for myself and take control of my life. And I decided to leave a really highly paid job and start out on my own. And then, of course, the pandemic hit. And of course, all my clients were airline, banks, retail. So nobody wanted to think about making corporate wear clothing. Nobody wanted uniforms because everybody's wearing their pajamas. So I had to have a big rethink about what I was going to do. But in the meantime, your course, I came across your course. I'm a big Facebook user anyway. I came across your course and I didn't use any other social media channels. So to me, it was a real, I've always been a learner, so I've always wanted to learn new things. And this was something I really wanted to crack. So I took the free course. I loved it. I loved the sense of community. I loved the no pressure element of it. Do it in your own time element of it. And so I joined up, and now, just over a year on, or are we a year on? Not yet. I have my own website launched. I am working as lead designer for 4 different small startup companies who hadn't a clue how to go about taking an idea, making a product, finding a fabric, making sure it was a good fabric, finding out who their actual audience were going to be, who's going to buy it, and what price point should it be. And then also I can now social media market for them. So, you know, there you go. Just like win all the way.
That's incredible. What did I always love doing these calls. I actually selfishly think they're mostly for me, because I just get to talk to everybody and find out how they're doing. And it always blows my mind, because, you know, sometimes people just, they are working away and they're making progress, and then they drop in these wins and you're just like, where did that come from? What elements of the training did you like the most? Was it the coaching? Was it the curriculum?
You know, I loved everything about it. You know, I loved the sense that I've made friends that there's a few of the ladies I've met on course. Again, excuse me, I've not met any of them physically, but we support each other through Messenger. We maybe FaceTime each other or whatever for a quick catch up or a chat. And but I think it's just the sense that, I mean, you know, I was able to take it. There was days over lockdown I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do my course. You know, I think everybody has a day or two like that. But then there's other days, wow, I couldn't stop. I was up to 2 a.m. And then when I discovered Instagram, and because I'm a fashion designer and because I'm very visual, I'd never been on Instagram, and it just went crazy. And then I looked at all the other things, the type of feeds people were doing, and next thing I wanted to learn how to do a puzzle feed, and I was up to 3 a.m. trying that out. And you know, it just gave me back a sense of you know, learning something new and the excitement of that. So you're never too old to sort of learn something new and learn new skills. And I think then when the company approached me to make workwear trousers, they asked me initially to make, at the beginning of the pandemic, they asked me to make chef's jackets. They were a little small company. They made just workwear. And they said, will you make chef's jackets? And I said, well, why would you make chef jackets in this climate, you know? Why don't you do something? I knew there was a gap in the market for women's workwear. I said, why don't you do that? So they said, yeah, let's do that together. So what we did was we created a community of women on Instagram who were all women working in trades, and we asked them what they wanted. So we don't have a huge following yet, but we don't have anything to sell yet. So we've got 400 people signed up to us. We've had 20 women trial these trousers. We have created a brand called Crafter Collection. We have nearly 400, just over 400 meaningful followers who all want this trouser desperately, because the 20 people who tried it were constantly telling their community what they were like. So that was a real nice introduction as to how to brand your brand something without it even existing, you know. So that was a real, and I could never have done that, and I could never have started this brand for this company without all the knowledge that I got from Tech Pixies.
That's amazing. I just, again, it just blows me away when people start talking about what's working for them. And, you know, here we're talking to someone who's in a totally different industry from the previous ones that we spoke to tonight. And I think that's also fascinating. There's someone has said that she thinks she's scared of the tech side and where to start. How would you answer that? What were we able to help you with on the tech side that made it less daunting?
Look, it's step by step is all I can say, you know. And I'm a bit like, I like to run before I can walk. So I was guilty of trying to do everything the first time I read it, and trying to set up my account. And I think the real important thing is listen, and then do the third time or the fourth time, or listen again and do it the fifth time. Don't try and run before you can walk like I did. I'm guilty of that, but I've been guilty of that all my life. So I would suggest anybody, don't be afraid of the tech side. Look, we're all in the same boat. We all have, you know, people will pick it up at different speed. You know, people will want different things. You don't have to be an expert in every single module, every single thing. You just have to find your niche. And somebody said that to me at the very beginning when I joined, and I thought, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? And it was like, it will become clear as the months go on, as the weeks go on, the months go on. And the thing is, wait for that. Enjoy the journey is what I'd say to people. Enjoy that journey. Enjoy meeting new people. Enjoy finding out about new things, you know. Don't be afraid of the tech. It's not that scary.
Well, and of course, we've got the technical video library for every single network where we break down click by click, step by step, every single thing that you need to know how to do. And you can dip back into that anytime you want, which I think, and we update it and refresh it as the network changes, which is great. So, gosh, well, Paula, thank you so much. And also, I just want to thank you as well for kitting us out on the fab boxes, because you have done a fabulous job with that. She was, you know, more than willing to help us. So just in case you don't know already, the fab box ends tonight. So this is the box itself. And in the box, you get the rubber duck from Karen. So you've already met Karen tonight. You get the handkerchief, because, you know, we all cry at Tech Pixies. Tears of good tears, right? Good, not bad tears. And then we've got the Joy's Pixie Magic candle that Kayla's made for all the Tech Pixies. You get your mask. You get your headband. You get your highlighter, very, very important for when you are taking all your notes. And of course, it's all in the Tech Pixie colors, which is, of course, very important that we're on brand. You've got your Brave Pants magnet for your fridge, just in case you need a little reminder to put your Brave Pants on. And then, of course, a beautiful scarf from one of our alumni, Julie, who sources those. So, you know, if you're thinking about it and need a little tiny added incentive, the box is, there's 3 more hours to get your hands on the box. And if you're waiting for the VIP alumni call, we're going to be just a few minutes late. I apologize for that, but I want to give one more story, one more person a chance to talk. Paula, thank you so much. And you've got your email there if anyone wants to connect with Paula. And again, thank you so, so much for everything you do for Tech Pixies and for being a wonderful addition to our community.
Thank you. Bye, Joy.
Bye. All right. Well, that was so lovely and refreshing. It's wonderful for me to hear all the stories because they're such great stories. And I hope you are all enjoying that as well. Yeah, Tanya, trust me, we will sort you out. I promise. We promise. We promise. Okay. So Tracy Davenport is going to close us out. Hello, Tracy. Hello. Now, Tracy has not only gone on to finish the course, but she has become an Instagram expert, a Reels expert actually on Instagram. And her Reels bootcamp is very amazing. And so many students have come out of our program and gone on and done her program, and just absolutely the confidence that they get out of both programs, out of your program, is just incredible. So tell us about you. Tell us about your background. You've got such a unique background. You're a dog breeder. You're a CrossFit, like champion. Tell us, like, I don't know, what else are you? What else don't I know?
Well,
You got COVID and you survived that. Like,
I tried so many different things in my life, but I think, that's the beauty of it. You just try lots of different things. My background is that I worked in sports nutrition for 14 years. Excuse me. And then when I had my children, I left and I was a stay-at-home mum. And I had just a little sideline business, which never really, I was more into my kids than I was the business. So it never really went anywhere, but it just kind of ticked over. And eventually we moved from Brighton and we moved to the sort of Hastings area to be near my husband's family, because mine are all in the States. And before long, my father-in-law got ill. So I was looking after him for about a year. And in that time, my mother-in-law she had dementia for a while, but it became very clear that she was unable to cope with his illness and his treatment. And when he passed away, she moved in and lived with us. So I was a full-time carer for just over a year. She lived in the house with us. So when that time was coming to an end, there was a clear point where we knew that she had to go into a home. I just couldn't keep my doors locked all the time, and it was too much for all of us. And she wanted it as well. So she went into her home, and knowing that that was happening, I felt that I, had an opportunity to kind of start something somewhere at some point. And it was really fortuitous that I happened to have seen an advert for a webinar that Joy was doing on Facebook. So I was like, okay, well, I'll just sign up to that and, see what it is. So I went along, and I was one of those people, my old self, that person that I used to be, who I am totally not now, was very skeptical, very unbelieving. I felt that, I don't know, almost like I was going to get scammed any minute, and I think a lot of people can feel that way if you're not used to this kind of environment. And so I went along on the call and I listened to Joy talk, and it was such a wonderful experience because it opened my eyes to the whole concept of there being so much more out there, that I could actually pretty much pick and choose anything that I wanted to do, and I could go for it. And she had the tools to give it to me. So at the beginning of the webinar, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. But by the end of it, I was like, where can I sign up? It was such an amazing experience. And it was the first time I'd ever done anything like that. So it was all very new to me. And of course, I signed up there and then, and I went through the course, and it was completely transformational for me on so many levels. I hadn't worked in an office in many, many years. Anything that I kind of knew that was even remotely techie was like, from a long, long time ago. It was completely obsolete. And I didn't know how I would cope with being a mom and doing the course and managing that, sort of juggling that at the same time. But actually, it was all very manageable because everything's broken down into bite-sized and manageable elements. So you never feel that you completely overwhelmed. And of course, there was the odd moment where I had my wobbles, but Joy was always there for me, or there was a member of the team that was there that could help me out with whatever I was having trouble with, or most of the time it was just being reassured. that I was doing the right thing, and I wasn't going completely wrong. The other thing that I had to deal with was, obviously, because I hadn't been earning for many years, was the investment in the course, which was something that my husband had big concerns about, because of course he was the breadwinner. It was his money that I was spending, and he was like, well, are you really sure about this? And I just knew it was a pivoting point in my life. And I look back to where I was then, and the amount of money that I paid for the course. I mean, it turns out by the time I finished the course, I earned that money back within a couple of months. So actually that was fine. And I didn't have to worry about that. But at the time of signing up, it felt like it was a very big outlay. And I wasn't sure, I wasn't confident in my own abilities, and, as to whether I would be able to, really step up and do the work or do the job. But, I went through the course, I did it, I loved every second of it. I came out with my qualification, and it's just given me such a desire and a hunger for more. And as the last lady who was on was saying, there's so much more to it than just the education that you receive. And this is something I've had this conversation with so many of my girls, my Tech Pixie girls. We've got a bit of a clan. That I'm a member of the progression group, so I've gone on and I pay my membership to that. And although you're still getting all of the support and the updates and the mindset, you're getting so much for your money. I would pay the money alone just for the community, just to be a part of this community, because they have all supported me in so many ways at different times and for different reasons, whether it was a tech issue that I was having or an emotional issue that I was having. There was always somebody there to support me. And I just really love being a part of this community. If I had known that at the start, I would have been absolutely shocked to realize what I would have gained by this point in my life. So yeah, it's been really amazing for me.
I love that. Well, and you can hear your entire story at episode 52. So if you go to techpixies.com/episode 52, or just search for episode 52 on the podcast software, so Spotify, or what's the other one? Apple Podcasts. You can hear Tracy's whole story. It has been an unbelievable story. And she now runs these Reels Reveals boot camps. She's a brilliant whiz when it comes to the video side of things, which of course we all know is big in social media now. So you've got to do video. If you don't do video, you're missing out in 2021 for sure, because that's the only way we can talk to each other. It's the only way we can connect. And I just love your story. And the funny thing is, when you joined, I didn't even do Social Media Supercharge. When Tracy joined, it was a one-hit wonder webinar, and that was it. It was like, join today. So it's definitely changed. What's happened is Social Media Supercharge, that used to be the first module that we would do in the program, and we've pulled it out to give that access free to everyone. Now, I do have VIP members though that are waiting for me to jump onto the VIP call. So I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. If you are watching and you're not part of the VIP, I would highly suggest you think about joining. It's Social Media Supercharge /VIP upgrade. And we're going to be hanging out there for the next hour or so, answering even more questions that might have come up in the last few days, and certainly as we're winding up the free training. But also, if you're on the fence and you're trying to decide what to do, Tracy, what do you think? What would you tell someone who's on the fence about the Social Media Magic program? What would you say?
I would say that you would be doing yourself an injustice by not signing up. And additionally, if you can, always go for the VIP on anything, because you get so much more for your money. So for me, it was a pivotal point in my life, and I feel so much more in control and I have power again. And you'd be crazy not to do it. Invest in yourself.
Well, we're getting a lot of wonderful comments. Annette says, thank you for a very inspirational evening. I thought that might really help people. And then Helen says, hashtag get off the fence. And then someone says, loved this hour. Thank you so much. Right. I got to go jump onto the VIP call, but I'm so delighted to have had you on the call this evening. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And again, if you want to hear the whole story for Tracy, go to episode 52. It's a great story. And, you know, you're just an amazing person, as are all the women in our amazing community. And like you said, people pay for the content, stay for the community. And we have 500, you probably don't know this, but we have 560 members in our 90-day transformational program. And
Wow.
we had 530 active people in the last month.
That's amazing.
That's just crazy.
Insane.
That group's been running for almost 6 years, and we have like a huge percentage of the people still engaged, which I just think is unbelievable. And it's because we get fresh people coming in with new perspectives and different backgrounds, and there's some huge networking going on. You know, people who are in the same space now. You're networking with some of the other students in you know, really creative ways. So I just think it's a wonderful place to be. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, and thanks everybody for joining us tonight. And that's it. So just so you know, I dropped a life coaching wheel of life and a tour of the social media magic course into the Facebook group. It's also been dropped into the hub, and I'm jumping over to VIP now. So if you've been patiently waiting for that, I appreciate it. And we're going to go and do some more question and answer and hot seats. See you all over there. Bye.